Hey everybody, welcome to our Monday night team call. I'm coming to you from my camper because we're camping right now. Sue and I are. You can see her, she's sitting out by the fire. I'm inside my camper. So we are camping this week. So anyway, coming to you live from here. Love that you can do this job anywhere, right? So tonight I am super, super excited. We have the huge honor of having Christina Williams as a guest on our call. She's amazing. If you don't know Christina, I will quick introduce her, and then you'll definitely want to go follow her because, like I said, she's pretty incredible. So Christina lives in Georgia with her husband and 4 adorable kiddos, and she just retired from being a school teacher for how many years, Christina?
7. I just finished my 7th year.
7 years. She is now retired and staying home with her babies and working Plexus full-time, which is amazing. So excited for her. So she's a senior Ruby, getting very close to Emerald, which is awesome. And her team is in crazy momentum, you guys, like crazy. Just in July alone, she told me she had 106 joins on her team, 4 level 1 silvers, 2 level 1 golds, 1 level 2 gold. And you all know that you've seen her name on the leaderboard quite a bit. So needless to say, she's an amazing leader and she's doing things right. So I wanted to have her on tonight to share things with us. She's going to share tips on how to jumpstart momentum and then keep that momentum. And also she'll be touching on partial PVs, subscriptions, that kind of thing, as well as leading with the business when you talk to your potentials. So get your notes ready, get your pens and papers ready, and she is going to take it away. Thanks, girl.
Absolutely. Thank you, Sally. Y'all, I'm so excited to get to do this. When she messaged me and asked if I'd be willing, I literally had to pick my jaw up off the floor because I love Sue, Sally, Chris, and Jamie. Love, love, love them. Always have. They've been a huge inspiration to me. So I'm just going to get right at it. Like Sally said, I'm a school teacher by trade. I had babies young. I have a almost 14-year-old, an 11-year-old, a just turned 3-year-old, and a 6-month-old. So I have a huge gap. I stayed home with my first 2 children, and then I went to school. And then when my I guess he's my oldest son now, when he started kindergarten, I started teaching. So it was a very smooth transition. And so I taught for 7 years. I really thought that that's what I would do forever. From the time that I lined my kid, my little brother and all his stuffed animals up and taught them in the classroom, I really thought I would do it forever. But y'all, I found out very early on as a teacher that you could only ever make what the state said you could make. It didn't matter how early I showed up or how late I stayed, how creative my lesson plan was, how many children I reached. It didn't really matter in the scheme of pay scale. And so while I don't believe that money buys happiness, just about every single thing that I want to do with my family does require money. And so there tended to be more month than paycheck. And so I knew that something was going to have to give. I was going to have to rearrange my expectations for my life or figure something else out. So a few years into my teaching career, I did remarry. We wanted to have other children. But again, kids are expensive. Y'all know that. And so we decided that I needed to look for something else. I already loved Plexus products. Brittany had been very persistent as my sponsor, and Plexus was helping me tremendously. I had been on the products for a year. I loved them, but I did not think that I was cut out for this. And so she continued to pour belief into me, and I decided to jump all in with the business. I knew that if I was going to do it, I was going to do it as 100%. The best that I could. When I started, I was in grad school, finishing my 2nd graduate degree. I had a nursing newborn, and I had the 2 older kids while teaching full-time. So I say 100% with what I could give. And so I did. I started right away. I ranked to Ruby in the first 8.5 or 9 months. And I thought that I was just on fire. We were doing things. And then I sat there for a whole year. And I sat there is for a number of reasons. One, I thought that I was being super coachable, but apparently you have to do what your sponsor says to do and not just listen. So that was a thing. They wanted us all this growth and books and affirmations, and I said the right things, like, yeah, Britt, I'll do that. My follow through was quite poor. And so I sat there for a year. started to make some changes and got a couple of new runners and made my way to Senior Ruby after, like I said, about a year. And I am coming up, let's see, I've been Senior Ruby for about 10 months now. Knocking on Emerald's door, y'all. But it was not without a ton of growth. And I tell you this, the month of December, y'all, my team, not me, but my whole team, added a whopping 3 people. 3 people. So I tell you, between December adding 3 people and July adding 107, there had to be a huge mind shift. I had to come to the point where I was just fed up with treading water. I was fed up with getting new people and losing them as quickly as they had come. It was like that relay race at field day where you have holes in your cup, but it was like someone just cut the whole bottom of my cup off. Like I couldn't keep it full. And so I got sick of it. I went to Ruby Retreat in February, got to hang out with all you ladies, and it was something changed. I don't know. There's a lot of things, like Brittany and I have analyzed what it was that changed at Ruby Retreat. One conversation that I recall having with Brittany, I just said, do you really believe there's room at the top for somebody like me? I'm just a small town girl from middle Georgia. I'm really content in my own world. Is there still room? Am I too late? And so we chewed on that conversation the entire weekend. Y'all, I chewed on it with Jared Abart. We chewed on it. And I came back. He said something to me. We were at a little coffee shop. I have no idea. I didn't know people like Jarrett and Kristen ate at these little hole-in-the-wall coffee shops, but it was fantastic. I love it because they're real humans. I loved it. Anyways, he said, Christina, if I can tell you one thing, I beg of you, go home and work. Like, I can't tell you what's coming, but I'm telling you it will be worth it. If you will go home and work, you will never regret it. And so, again, I just decided, why am I just halfway doing this? You think you're all in, but are you? And so I decided to be all in. I came back from Ruby Retreat hungry for this business and decided that I was going to make it happen. I also finally understood at Ruby Retreat that the team that gets you to X rank may very likely not be the team that gets you to Y rank. And that's not your fault. Like, it's just sometimes may not work that way. And so I had to learn to let go of the people that had gotten me to X rank if they weren't willing to still dig in and go with me. Because I found out that the energy that I was letting go, lugging them behind and begging and pleading and almost talking to them as though they're my 3-year-old, like, come on, honey, this is what's good for you. You can do it, was draining my energy. So the energy that I could have had to pour into someone else was being sucked away by people who really didn't want what I had. They really just didn't want it. So when I decided that, okay, I'm going to have to rebuild here. My team had 3 joins, you guys. I was a Senior Ruby with 3 joins. So you can't make this up. So I decided that I had to rebuild, and so I did. A few things changed. But first of all, I'm going to tell you, I want to talk about subscription orders and why that is important when it comes to building momentum. So early in my business, I just went after the really easy recruits. Y'all, I could have known that they were broke as a joke, that weren't going to stick around. It didn't matter because I thought it's a join. I learned that I was running a welcome pack business. That's it. I was running a business where I could make $25. Y'all, I don't want $25. I want tens and thousands of dollars. But what happens is when we sign someone up and we lose them just as quickly, it's either A, a reflection of the quality of person that we're recruiting, or B, a reflection of the quality of customer service we're providing. So it's one of the two. And so here's the thing. In order to give good customer service to your people, you have got to let them get their money's worth. And if you don't make them come in with a subscription order turned on, they are wasting their money. You are essentially saying, please throw away $135 because they will not see the results that they're looking for in 1 month. It will not happen if you're doing your job correctly. If you're introducing them gradually to the product, they're barely going to be up to full dosage at the end of the first month. So if you do not have them come in with a subscription order on, you're wasting their money. You are wasting it. It's completely a waste. You should not bother. You should tell them to come to you when they can, okay? And so What does that look like? How do you make that happen? So here's the language that I use. If I'm talking to someone, first of all, I never discuss money up front, ever. I always, always, always build the value of the product. What are they looking for? They're looking for weight loss. I don't stop there. No, they're not. I ask them, what is that excess weight? What's that doing for you? What's that doing to your life? I get them to talk more, because the problem is not 5 pounds, y'all. That's the same 5 pounds they've been fighting for the last 25 years. They're going to gain it. They're going to lose it. They're going to gain it. They're going to lose it. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for energy to play with their kids. They're looking for reduced fatigue to get off the couch. They're looking for control over the all-you-can-eat buffet so that they don't have to feel embarrassed walking out with their family. Ask questions so that they're building value. They're not going to know to tell you all of their health struggles unless you draw it out of them. They don't think that struggling with constipation is a health struggle. It's been their whole life. When they think of health problem, they think of a sickness. So something like fatigue, they think is normal. School teachers think it's normal to be exhausted at 3 p.m. It doesn't have to be that way. But unless you're drawing that out, they're going to think, okay, this is 5 pounds. Well, guess what? When they lose that 5 pounds, they're out. You've lost them because you didn't build the value of long-term health. So I build the value of long-term health. I spend a lot of time. I use a lot of third-party tools. I don't present the information myself ever. Third-party tools all the way. And then when it finally gets down, they're ready to go. I'll do the whole, hey, on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you wish I'd leave you alone, and 10 being you're ready to get started. Where are you right now? And then if they give me a number, I'll say, great, what do you need to get from there to here? And I find out what they need and I give it to them. And then I say, listen, it sounds like you're ready to get started. And they say, absolutely, whatever. My first tip is I sign them up myself. I'll say, awesome, I can't wait to get you started. Why don't you go ahead, let's shoot me your information. I'll get you set up and we'll go from there. Or we'll jump on the phone and I'll let them give me their info. Occasionally you'll have someone who doesn't want to share their info with you, and I totally understand that. And I'll say, hey, listen, that's completely fine. When do you have 5 minutes so I can walk you through it on the phone? First mistake you can make is sending someone your website blindly. They're not going to be able to figure it out. They're going to end up A, joining as a customer, and then that's not what you want. Or B, they cannot figure out the subscription. They think when you have to add it to their cart, it means they're going to pay for it. Okay, they can't do that. So offer to do it for them, or get on the phone and go step by step by step. Here, when I get to the subscription screen, this is exactly what I say. I'll say, all right, Sally, this is where we set up your product that's going to come to you next month. Remember, you don't pay for this one today, but it's super important that we have it on its way on time, because did you know your microbiome can go backwards if you miss 3 days of your product? And we know that the mail takes longer than 3 days, so we definitely need this subscription order on in order for your products to arrive. As a matter of fact, as long as you're willing to have that subscription order on and you're committing to 60 to 90 days with me, then you qualify for this wholesale membership. It's going to save you a ton of money. So I always ask them, I'm like, listen, we have a great wholesale membership. Let's see if you qualify. And they're like, well, I want to qualify. Everybody wants to qualify, y'all. What do I have to do to qualify? And I'll say, oh, listen, all you have to do, agree to have your subscription order on so that your order will come at your convenience, and agree to do this with me for 60 to 90 days so that I can help you have some real health breakthroughs. Y'all, if they're willing, then they're wholesale. If they're not, do not take the easy sale. You say, hey, you know what, Sally, you're right. It does not sound like this wholesale membership is the best thing for you. Luckily, we do have a customer option. You won't get quite as deep of a discount, but it's probably more up your alley until we can make a further commitment. Y'all, that fear of missing out, it'll get them every time. It will get them no. Okay, wait a minute. I can probably do 60 days. Okay, if they can do 60 days, then I'll let them be wholesale. If they cannot, they have to be a customer. So it's really important, you guys. I think when Dylan ran numbers for Brittany last year, and I don't think she'll mind us sharing, he came back with an astounding percentage. Something like 80% of people who came in with no subscription order on never reordered. 80%. Y'all, that is a big fat F. That means 20% reordered. We were failing. And so we had to change it. If you want to grow a business, subscription orders have to be a requirement. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. And your posture is going to dictate that. If you're meek and mild, then they're going to think it's not important. It is bad customer service if you do not have a customer have their subscription order on. It's bad. You're not doing your job as a sponsor. Okay, partial PV. This is something that I think you just have to learn as you go, because that's definitely what we've done. One strategy that we have for helping with partial PV, because usually it happens because they have excess BioCleanse in the beginning. You know, we start gradually. We have to troubleshoot a lot with that sometimes, and so they end up with extra. Well, guys, I don't want them to spend more money than they need to either. So what I do in the beginning, when I send the triplex chart to them, I send the triplex chart that has the triplex instructions and the X Factor instructions really pretty all together. And they'll say, oh, but I didn't get X Factor. I'm like, I know, girl, listen, that's one of my favorite products though. So keep it on this chart in case we decide to add that in the future. You might want to replace your multivitamin later. So I plant a seed real early on. We have other products, they're fantastic. I never want to upsell though, but I do want them to know, oh yeah, just keep it for later, because when I swapped my multivitamin for that, it was amazing. And then that next month, if they have too much BioCleanse and you see that they're messing with their subscription, then I'll say, hey, listen, since you don't have to get BioCleanse this month, this is a fantastic time to add that X Factor like we talked about in the beginning. Remember that? And then they feel like they remember that, and so they're ready to add it. And voila, they're over 100 PV, and they get to try a new product, which they'll love. So that's how I kind of help with the partial PV. Let's see. All right, and then the main thing, what changed my business 100%? I came back home and I decided that I was tired of trying to just share the products with everybody. Y'all, the products have helped me a ton. I had awful blood pressure problems, so much that my first child was born at 24 weeks. She weighed 1 pound, 5 ounces. So when I tell you that my blood pressure was extreme, it was extreme. They delivered her that early for a reason. And so Plexus has freed me from 5 blood pressure medications, from an anxiety medication, and from a restless leg medication. And I'm very grateful. But y'all, this business has been what has transformed my family's life. This business. Products were great. Business transformational. Y'all, I got to sign resignation papers on a career that was guaranteed to be 30 years with a retirement of about 60 to 70%. That's what I was looking at. Like I was going to figure that out. But I got to walk away from that. Now I'm at home, you know, with a nursing baby and with a toddler and running around to all the kids after school stuff instead of having to make travel arrangements. So this business, I'm just probably more excited about sharing this as I am the product. And I mean that as in every way possible. I'm just as excited about sharing this business as I am about the product. I have unshakable belief that network marketing as an industry is a powerful one to be in. I'm not ashamed. It doesn't hurt my feelings if somebody thinks that this is silly. I don't care. Let them be right. I'll be rich. I got that from Bob Heilig, by the way. It's not mine. But let people be right. You go be rich. And so that's what I intended to do. So I came home and I immediately turned my shift to finding people who wanted this business. And it's something super simple, you know. Hey, Sally, hope you're having a great day. Listen, I wanted to reach out because I'm always looking to connect with other strong, confident women, and you seem like you would be fantastic at what I do. This may or may not be for you, but I think I have something you would love to take a look at. Would you be open to some more info? Now, here's the thing, y'all. Let me tell you. If you're going to prospect with the business, you have to be willing to say less to a lot more people. Now, our tendency is to say a lot to a little. It's not effective, though. You have to be willing to say a little to a lot more people, especially if you're in your cold market. So if I want to get 1 or 2 conversations going, I can't just message 10 people anymore because that was the average with the product. About 1 in 10, I could get someone to talk to me about the product. Now I might have to message 20. But y'all, if I get 1 in 20 that comes in wanting to build a business, I win. I win. And y'all, the secret to getting somebody to silver is to find someone who wants to go silver. Not to find a product user and eventually convince them that they love their product and that they should share. I do believe that happy product users turn into happy product sharers. And so, I mean, I have several girls on my team who have done that. But the key to getting someone to silver is find people who want to make money, because they're the ones that you're not going to have to beg to be on a Monday night call. They're the ones you're not going to have to beg to start a three-way chat. They're the ones you're not going to have to beg to do a post, and then be available. I make it very, very easy. If Sally joins my team, she gets her product, I'll say, oh my gosh, girl, I'm so excited. I'm going to send you this getting started chart that has the X Factor instructions too. And then I'm going to say, hey, listen, if I wrote up a post, a shout out for you to stick on Facebook tonight with a selfie of you and your product, would you be willing to do that? It would really help me out. Sally says, sure, I'll do that, whatever. And then you just go from there. Always being available, saying, hey, Sally, listen, Sue commented on your post tonight. I would love to share with her. How about you start us a three-way chat so I can answer some questions for her? It's a matter of keeping the process very simple and letting people know that they can do this. If I'm always using third-party tools like videos from back office or three-way chats or online events, if I'm always using tools and never being the expert, anybody can do this. But if I'm being the expert and I'm doing everything myself, my new join thinks that there's no way in you know where that they could ever do it. But they can press play on a video. They can introduce me in a chat. So I just want to streamline the process for them and really make them see how doable it is for everybody. And then again, the statistic is staggering. For someone who gets to silver, I believe it was like a year later, 70 or 80% of them were still active. So it's about helping them find success and finding it quickly. And that means make yourself available. I do online events every single month. I have 3 in-person events scheduled this week. Not everybody can work like that, right? But be available. If somebody wants to do an online launch party, do it scared. Get on a Zoom and do it scared. If you think it probably isn't going to go well, it's not the first time. That's okay. I've done terrible ones. It's okay. I didn't die. That's what I ask at the end of whenever I'm scared, like, what, am I going to die? And if I'm not going to die, then let's try it anyway and see what happens. So I have done events for just 3 girls on a Zoom before. You know, my friend wants to go silver. She can't have a big launch party. She's afraid of that. So let's start small. Well, once they see how harmless that is, then, okay, now listen, are you ready to do the bigger Zoom? Let's do it together and kind of go from there. And then the last thing that I have written down, Sally, is that you have to watch people's feet, not their mouth. When it comes to this business, if you're willing, so in March, we did a Club 200, okay? Our whole team did it, anybody that wanted to. And for the month of March, we reached out to 200 new contacts each. Not follow-ups, not 200 new people. And so I did that. Actually, Brittany and I think we did it the first half of March, trying to lead from the front, and then we continued. So we ended up upwards of 300 new contacts in March. Well, you guys, research shows that 60 to 90 days after massive action is when you see results. Well, guess what? March, April, May, June, July, those are my biggest months. It came after the action. Once you see the results of your labor, 90% of the work is already done. And so it's about leading from the front. It's about watching people's feet and not their mouth. Remember, we talked about dragging people behind us? If their feet are moving, you shouldn't be dragging. They're coming with you. And if you're dragging, you got to leave them where they're at. You support them and you love them and you cast vision, but you're so busy going this way that you can't be dragging people from behind. So you have to watch their feet, not their mouth. Your time is money and they have to deserve it for you to invest in it. If you don't have anybody that deserves it right now, then you invest in yourself and you go into massive action, and I promise you it will pay off. So that's what I have.
Girl, oh, you killed it.
Thank you, friend.
Oh, so good. Oh my goodness, amazing stuff. Thank you. You know, action, that word, right? It cures everything. That's what it does. And you're proof of that. Your team is proof of that. Yeah, it just speaks for itself. So that is incredible. I love the tips you gave us. I love the verbiage you gave us. Yeah, just a second. Okay. Yeah, amazing. So, okay, a couple questions were in the comments. One of them was, what third-party tools are your favorite, Christina?
Okay, so if I am sending a third-party tool about Triplex, I actually created my own. I'll be glad to share it. It's on YouTube. It's called the 3-punch combo. I left Plexus out of the name because some people were spamming a lot of Plexus videos, I noticed, and putting nasty things underneath it. And so I didn't want that. So it's called the 3-punch combo. It's by me. And it's not necessarily better than any other one. I created it after the new Slim came out. So I talk about both Slims and the option and how they're both critical to what we're doing. So I use that one for the product. I use the Whitney War video, Why Plexus. I did the research for you. I use that one for the business sometimes. I will use Brooke Hemingway's video about Why Plexus, the business. The one from Back Office, the Triplex Opportunity video. It's a little bit longer, but for someone who's really interested, we have some good success with that. We do a ton of online events. If there's a big one with Plexus Biz, we plug into that. We use Gut Health and Happiness. That's an effective way to follow up. We use the Dare to Dream. We're just kind of getting our feet wet in there. And we do a lot of 3-way chats. I mean, I don't usually start a 3-way chat with a prospect. I got the recruiting part down. But I do, if it's someone that I prospect with the business and they join with the business, immediately I get them on the phone with Brittany, and it's not an option. So I just make it part of the process. I'll say, all right, Sally, so excited that we got you set up tonight. Hey, listen, I always love to plug my new girls in with Brittany. She is a genius when it comes to this business. She just hit Sapphire. She's having a ton of success. I would love to connect the two of you. So tell me, when is a good time for us to get on the phone? And I just sit there and let it be awkward until they tell me a good time. And then I just get Brittany on the phone with them, and she kind of takes it from there. She's great at casting the vision, which has not always been a strength of mine. And so I think you have to know where you're strong and where you're not. I can recruit all day, and then I allow her to help build the value and cast the vision for me. And then immediately we get to work. I get them to work as quickly as I can. We have a good getting started video that we show people. It's kind of comprehensive. But yeah, that's kind of what we do.
Good. I love that Whitney War one too. I use that one too. That's really good. And anything from Brooke is amazing.
Yes. Yes.
She's so good. Oh, so I don't think there were any other questions. There was one about the sheet, the welcome sheet with the Triplex X Factor.
Oh yeah, I can shoot it to you.
Yeah, I have it. I think I have the same one. So, but still do that anyway, and then I'll shoot it to these girls.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I think. All right, I think that was it. So, okay, everybody. So Jill Renfro is on Pink Power. If we want to hop over to that call, that's going to be an amazing call too. So, girl, thank you so
much
for being here with us tonight. We are so grateful. You just did an amazing job. So thank you for helping our team and pouring into our team. You are just a blessing. One Plexus.
Love y'all.
See you, everybody.
Bye, guys.